Must watch. I came inside my alien roommate from behind S. The Galactic Exchange Station drifted silently between stars, a massive ring of metal and light. It was designed to bring peace. At least, that was what the Council claimed. Species from across the galaxy came here to learn about each other, live together, and remove fear through understanding. Zelthrix did not believe in that idea. Zelthrix was a member of the Virelian species, tall and thin, with pale blue skin and long, careful fingers. His species valued quiet, order, and planning. Every action was measured. Every emotion was controlled. Chaos, to them, was a sign of failure. That was why Zelthrix already felt uneasy while standing outside Dormitory Block 7. He held a thin data tablet in his hands. The words on the screen made his chest tighten. Room assignment, shared quarters. Humans ignored safety rules and somehow survived anyway. Their history was full of wars, disasters, and dangerous experiments. Most species avoided them, not out of hatred but out of exhaustion. Zelthrix slowly released a calming breath. The exchange program was mandatory. Refusal was not an option. This will be manageable, he told himself quietly, for one rotation cycle. He activated the door panel. The door slid open with a soft hiss. The room was already occupied. At first, Zelthrix thought a small storm had passed through. Clothes were scattered across one side of the room. A bag lay open on the floor, tools spilling out in no clear order. A metal container hummed softly near the wall, giving off heat. Strange sounds, rhythmic and heavy, came from a small device playing human music. And in the center of it all stood the human. Marcus Hale was shorter than Zelthrix expected, but wider. His body looked dense, solid, like it was built for force instead of elegance. His hair was dark and uncombed. His posture was relaxed in a way that made no sense to Zelthrix. The human turned and smiled. "Oh hey, you must be my roommate." Zelthrix froze for half a second. Humans showed their teeth when smiling. It was still unsettling. "Yes," Zelthrix said carefully. "I am Zelthrix of Virelia." Marcus stepped forward immediately, extending a hand. "I'm Marcus. Nice to meet you." Zelthrix stared at the hand. He knew the gesture from research. Physical contact greeting, optional, often unnecessary. After a short pause, Zelthrix gently touched Marcus's hand with his fingertips. Marcus laughed softly. "Ugh, close enough." Zelthrix pulled his hand back and moved toward his side of the room. His section was clean, untouched, and exactly how he liked it. He placed his belongings down in perfect alignment. Behind him, Marcus continued unpacking, humming loudly. He dropped items without care. Metal hit the floor with sharp sounds. Zelthrix flinched. "Human Marcus," he said, turning slowly. "Is there a reason you are creating so much noise?" Marcus blinked. "Noise? Oh, sorry, didn't realize it bothered you." He lowered his movements slightly, but the chaos did not stop. The human seemed unaware of how much space he used. He paced, stretched, and adjusted equipment that was not his. Zelthrix made a note on his tablet. Observation 1. Humans lack spatial awareness. Later, during the station's artificial night cycle, Zelthrix prepared to rest. His species required 8 uninterrupted hours of silence to maintain mental balance. He dimmed the lights and lay down. Marcus did not. Instead, the human sat on his bed, tapping on a screen, light flashing across the room. "Human Marcus," Zelthrix said again, more firmly this time. "It is rest period." "Oh, right," Marcus replied. "I'll be quick." He was not quick. Minutes passed, then more. Zelthrix's breathing became shallow. His focus slipped. Finally, he rose. "You are violating rest protocol," Zelthrix said. Marcus looked up, surprised. "Wait, you guys sleep this early?" "Yes." "Oh, my bad." Marcus turned off the screen, but then reached for a small container and began eating something loudly. Zelthrix closed his eyes. Observation 2. Humans consume food at inappropriate times. The next cycle brought no relief. Marcus woke before the station alarms. He performed physical exercises in the limited space, moving fast and breathing heavily. His feet struck the floor with force. Zelthrix sat up, shocked awake. "Why," Zelthrix demanded, "are you doing this?" Marcus wiped sweat from his face. "Morning workout." "There is no threat. Doesn't matter." Zelthrix stared at him. "You prepare for danger that does not exist," Marcus shrugged. "Better than being surprised." That answer stayed with Zelthrix longer than he expected. Later that day, a minor systems failure occurred in a nearby corridor. Engineers delayed repairs, citing low priority. Marcus noticed the issue while passing by. Within minutes, he returned with tools from his bag. He opened the panel and began working. Zelthrix watched from a distance. "You are not authorized." Marcus didn't look up. "I know." "Then stop." Marcus tightened a connection. The lights flickered, then stabilized. "Problem solved," Marcus said cheerfully. Zelthrix stared. "Why would you do that?" Zelthrix asked. Marcus shrugged again. "Someone had to." Zelthrix added another note. Observation 3. Humans ignore authority but achieve results. As cycles passed, Zelthrix felt constant tension. The human never truly rested. He joked with strangers. He asked too many questions. He treated dangerous equipment with casual confidence. Yet strangely, nothing went wrong. No accidents. No failures. Marcus noticed Zelthrix watching him one evening. "You okay, buddy?" Marcus asked. "I am concerned," Zelthrix replied honestly. "About what?" "About you." Marcus laughed. "Yeah, I get that a lot." That night, Zelthrix updated his report to the council. Preliminary conclusion. He paused, then added one final line. "However, they appear unusually prepared for unknown situations." Zelthrix shut down his tablet and lay back. He did not know it yet, but this observation would soon matter more than anything else, because danger was coming. And when it did, sharing a room with a human would no longer be an inconvenience. It would be survival. Zelthrix began to notice something unsettling. It was not the noise. It was not the mess. It was not even the human's strange eating hours or endless movement. It was the pattern hidden inside the chaos. At first, Zelthrix believed Marcus Hale lived without order. The human woke early, slept late, exercised without reason, and repaired things that were not broken enough to demand attention. None of it followed logical scheduling. Yet after several station cycles, Zelthrix realized something important. Marcus never wasted time. Every action had a purpose, even if that purpose was not obvious at first. The realization made Zelthrix uncomfortable. During one cycle, Zelthrix returned to the room to find Marcus disassembling a small emergency drone on his bed. Metal parts were spread everywhere. Zelthrix stopped at the doorway. "Why is that device in pieces?" Marcus did not look up. "Training." "For what situation?" Zelthrix asked. Marcus tightened a bolt. "Any situation." "That answer lacks precision," Marcus smiled. "That's because danger usually does too." Zelthrix recorded the conversation on his tablet. Observation 4. Humans train for unknown outcomes, not specific threats. Later that cycle, the station conducted a routine emergency drill. Most species followed the instructions calmly. They waited for guidance. They moved only when ordered. Marcus did not wait. Before the announcement finished, he was already pulling on his jacket, checking exits and scanning the corridor. Zelthrix followed him, confused. "The drill has not started." "Yeah," Marcus said. "That's when real emergencies usually hit." Zelthrix did not understand, but he noticed something strange. When the drill ended, Marcus had helped 3 confused visitors find safe zones. He had lifted a fallen crate off a smaller alien. He had corrected a broken door panel that would have trapped people inside. No one told him to do any of this. He simply acted. Zelthrix felt a strange tightness in his chest. That night, Zelthrix tried to sleep. Marcus did not. Instead, the human sat quietly, cleaning his tools. For once, there was no music, no loud movement. Zelthrix opened one eye. "Why are you awake?" Marcus paused. I heard something weird earlier, thought I'd stay alert. There is no alert status. I know, Zelthrix sighed. You humans are inefficient, Marcus chuckled softly. Maybe, but we're still alive. That answer stayed with Zelthrix longer than it should have. The next cycle brought the first true problem. A supply corridor lost pressure. It was not dangerous, but it caused delays. Station officials announced repairs would happen soon. Marcus did not accept that. He grabbed his tool bag. "Where are you going?" Zelthrix asked. "To check it out." "You are not maintenance staff," Marcus shrugged. "I fix things." Zelthrix hesitated, then followed. The corridor was empty. A thin layer of frost covered one wall. The air hummed softly. Marcus knelt, placing a hand near the damaged panel. "Seals weak." "That is obvious," Zelthrix said. "That is why repairs are scheduled." Marcus shook his head. "Too slow." He worked fast. His hands moved with confidence. He used tools in ways Zelthrix had never seen before. Within minutes, the pressure stabilized. Zelthrix stared at the display. "You prevented a larger failure." "Yeah," Marcus said. "Small problems grow if you ignore them." Zelthrix recorded another note. Observation 5. Humans address threats early, regardless of scale. That evening, Zelthrix reviewed his data. Humans were not careless. They were proactive. That made them dangerous in a different way. Days later, a strange message circulated quietly through the station network. Zelthrix noticed it during a routine data check. An unknown signal. Encrypted, short, repeating, he forwarded it to security. They dismissed it as noise. Marcus did not. He noticed Zelthrix staring at his tablet. "What's wrong?" Marcus asked. "There is an unexplained signal," Zelthrix said. "Security believes it is harmless." Marcus frowned. "When did it start?" 3 cycles ago." Marcus stood up slowly. "That's not harmless." Zelthrix tilted his head. "Explain." "Signals don't repeat by accident," Marcus said. "Someone's watching or testing." Zelthrix felt a chill run through his body. Security did not consider that. Marcus grabbed his jacket. "They never do." Zelthrix followed him again, unsure why. They reached a quiet observation deck. Marcus activated a handheld scanner of his own design. The signal grew stronger. Marcus's jaw tightened. "Yeah. That's not random." "What does it mean?" Zelthrix asked. Marcus exhaled. "It means someone's checking how ready we are." Zelthrix's voice lowered. "And are we?" Marcus looked at the station below them. "No." That night, station lights flickered briefly, just once. Most residents ignored it. Zelthrix did not. He sat upright in bed. Marcus was already awake. "You felt that too?" Zelthrix asked. Marcus nodded. "Power test." "A test for what?" Marcus's eyes stayed on the door. "For weaknesses." Silence filled the room. Zelthrix realized something important then. Marcus was not relaxed. He was calm. There was a difference. The next cycle, alarms did not sound, but several systems lagged. Doors opened slower. Communications dropped for seconds at a time. Small things, enough to be ignored. Except Marcus noticed all of them. He began mapping routes, counting supplies, teaching Zelthrix how to activate emergency panels. "Why are you telling me this?" Zelthrix asked. Marcus smiled slightly. "Because if things go bad, you'll need to know." Zelthrix hesitated. "You assume danger without proof." Marcus looked at him seriously. "No, I assume danger because history proves it." That night, Zelthrix updated his report again. Revised assessment. Concern. On their side. And in that moment, Zelthrix understood the truth. Sharing a room with a human was not the problem. Being unprepared like everyone else was. The station lights stayed dim. That alone was enough to cause panic. Across the galactic exchange station, creatures stopped what they were doing. Conversations ended mid-sentence. Footsteps slowed. Some species froze completely, their instincts telling them to hide and wait. Zelthrix felt his chest tighten. This was not a drill. He stood slowly, his long fingers shaking. His species had evolved to survive by avoiding danger, not facing it. Every instinct told him to remain still and hope the threat passed. Marcus Hale reacted differently. He was already moving. "Stay close," Marcus said, his voice calm but firm. "What is happening?" Zelthrix asked. "Something is starting," Marcus replied, "and it's not friendly." The station's emergency alarms finally activated, but they were delayed and uneven. Some corridors echoed with sound while others stayed silent. Zelthrix's heart raced. "Security systems are failing," Marcus nodded. "Yeah, that signal we found, this is the next step." They stepped into the corridor. Lights flickered overhead. Doors opened slower than normal. Other species filled the hallway. Some cried out. Some argued. Some simply stood there, unable to decide what to do. Zelthrix felt overwhelmed by the noise and movement. Marcus scanned the area quickly. "We need to get to a safe zone." "Which one?" Zelthrix asked. Marcus shook his head. "The nearest one won't hold." That made no sense to Zelthrix. "That is where security directs everyone." "That's exactly why it's a bad idea," Marcus replied. A sudden impact shook the station. Not an explosion, but a deep vibration like something massive had attached itself to the outer hull. Zelthrix staggered. "What was that?" Marcus's jaw tightened. "Boarding clamps." Fear surged through the crowd. Security announcements finally played, but the voice sounded unsure, rushed. "Remain calm. Proceed to assigned shelters." Marcus ignored it. He grabbed Zelthrix's arm, not roughly but firmly. "Trust me," Marcus said. "We're going another way." Zelthrix hesitated for only a moment. Then he followed. They moved through maintenance corridors most species avoided. The lights here were weaker, the air colder. Another tremor shook the walls. Zelthrix nearly lost his balance. Marcus caught him instantly. "You okay?" Marcus asked. "Yes," Zelthrix said, surprised. "You reacted very quickly." Marcus didn't slow down. "Habit." Suddenly, the sound of metal tearing echoed through the station. Not close, but not far. Zelthrix's breathing became shallow. "They have breached the hull." "Yeah," Marcus said, "but not where they planned." They reached a junction where several smaller aliens were trapped. A door panel was jammed. Panic filled the narrow space. Marcus moved without hesitation. "Step back," he ordered. His voice carried authority, even across species that did not understand human tones well. Marcus forced open the panel using a tool and pure strength. The door slid open just enough. "Go now," he shouted. The aliens rushed through. Zelthrix stared. "You endangered yourself." Marcus glanced at him. "That's kind of our thing." The station shuddered again. This time lights went out completely. Darkness swallowed the corridor. Zelthrix froze. Marcus did not. A soft light activated from Marcus's wrist device. "Stay behind me," Marcus said. They moved forward slowly. Strange sounds echoed through the station now, metal footsteps, unfamiliar voices using harsh tones. Zelthrix's translator struggled to interpret them. "They are not communicating," Zelthrix whispered. "They are coordinating," Marcus nodded. "Military." Fear pressed down on Zelthrix like weight. They reached a wide chamber near an unused cargo bay. Dozens of frightened beings had gathered there, unsure where to go. Security officers stood among them, but they looked lost. One of them spoke. "We are awaiting instructions from command." Marcus stepped forward. "Command is compromised." The officer stiffened. "You have no proof." Marcus pointed upward. A section of the ceiling collapsed as sparks fell. The sound of heavy movement echoed above. That was proof enough. Panic exploded. Some species screamed. Others ran in random directions. Zelthrix's legs felt weak. Marcus climbed onto a crate. "Listen to me," Marcus shouted. His voice cut through the fear. "Running blindly will get you trapped. Stay together. Follow the maintenance routes. Avoid the main corridors." Some hesitated, then something else happened. A shadow moved at the far end of the chamber, tall, armored, not shaped like any species present. The invaders had arrived. Zelthrix's mind locked in fear. His species had no answer for this. Marcus did. He jumped down from the crate, grabbing a fallen security baton. "Move," Marcus ordered. The crowd reacted. Not because of rules, because Marcus acted like someone who had faced danger before and survived. As the group moved, one invader advanced into the chamber. It raised a weapon. Marcus shoved Zelthrix behind cover. The blast struck the wall instead, sending heat through the air. Zelthrix trembled. "Marcus, stay down," Marcus said. He moved fast, using the environment instead of strength. He rolled behind crates, pulled loose cables, triggered emergency sprinklers. Steam filled the room. The invader hesitated, sensors confused. Marcus struck the weapon, damaging it. The creature retreated, signaling others. Marcus backed away quickly. "That was extremely dangerous," Zelthrix said, his voice shaking. Marcus exhaled. "Yeah. Then why did you do it?" Marcus looked at him. "Because someone had to slow them down. They guided the group through narrow tunnels." Marcus sealed doors behind them, rerouted power, and used simple tools to turn the station itself into a barrier. Zelthrix watched in awe. Humans did not fight fear by removing it. They moved through it. Eventually, they reached a secure maintenance hub. It wasn't designed as a shelter, but it was hidden. The group rested. Zelthrix leaned against the wall, exhausted. Marcus sat on the floor, checking his gear like this was routine. "You knew this could happen," Zelthrix said quietly. Marcus nodded. "I hoped it wouldn't." Zelthrix lowered his head. "My people would have frozen." Marcus looked at him. "Yours survived by avoiding danger. Mine survived by facing it." Zelthrix met his eyes. "For the first time," Zelthrix said, "I regret underestimating humans." Marcus smiled faintly. "You're not the first." Suddenly, Marcus's scanner beeped. His expression changed. "They're adapting," Marcus said. "They'll find us soon." Zelthrix felt fear again, but something else too, trust. "What do we do now?" Zelthrix asked. Marcus stood. "Now," he said, "we take the station back." And as distant alarms echoed again, Zelthrix realized the truth. The invaders had planned for technology. They had planned for weapons. They had not planned for a human who refused to quit. The maintenance hub was silent except for distant echoes, metal footsteps, voices that did not belong. Zelthrix stood near the wall, his body tense. Fear still lived inside him, but it no longer controlled him completely. Not with Marcus standing calmly in front of the group. Marcus studied the scanner in his hand. "They're spreading out," he said, "smart but slow." One of the security officers whispered, "We are outmatched." Marcus looked at him. "No, we're just out-equipped." Zelthrix tilted his head. "That distinction matters," Marcus smiled slightly. "A lot." Marcus began giving instructions. Not orders, plans. Simple, clear, fast. He divided the group. Some would reroute power. Others would create noise in false corridors. Security would follow, but only to protect, not confront. Zelthrix watched in disbelief. No one argued. No one questioned. They listened. Because Marcus spoke like someone who had already accepted the worst and planned anyway. As the group moved, Zelthrix stayed close to Marcus. "You are assuming great risk," Zelthrix said. Marcus shrugged. "Risk's already here, might as well use it." They reached a control junction near the station's central spine. Screens flickered, showing partial maps and broken feeds. Zelthrix's eyes widened. "You cannot control the station from here," Marcus nodded. "I don't need control." He opened a panel and connected his device. "I just need chaos." Across the station, systems changed behavior. Doors opened and closed at random intervals. Gravity shifted slightly in unused sections. Lights flashed in patterns that confused sensors. The invaders slowed, they regrouped. "They are cautious," Zelthrix observed. Marcus nodded. "That's good." "Why?" "Because cautious enemies hesitate." The invaders finally located the false shelter Marcus had created. They surrounded it, expecting trapped survivors. Instead, it was empty. That delay gave Marcus time. He accessed the station's external broadcast array. Zelthrix watched as Marcus activated it. "What are you doing?" Zelthrix asked. Marcus's voice was calm. "Announcing ourselves." The signal spread beyond the station. across nearby space lanes, across listening posts, across ships that had learned to ignore quiet stations. Marcus spoke. "This is Marcus Hale of Earth," he said. "This station is under attack. We are not surrendering." Zelthrix felt something shift inside him. The message continued. "To anyone listening, humans are here, and we adapt." The invaders reacted instantly. They rushed the control junction. Marcus disconnected and turned. "Time to move." They ran. The station shook as the invaders advanced, but their movements were no longer smooth. Systems resisted them now. Paths changed. Doors sealed unexpectedly. Zelthrix realized the truth. Marcus was not fighting the invaders. He was exhausting them. They reached a large observation ring overlooking space. The stars burned brightly beyond the glass. Marcus stopped. "This is it," he said. Zelthrix's voice trembled. "This is an open area." "Exactly," Marcus replied. The invaders entered moments later, weapons raised. They expected panic. They did not expect Marcus to step forward. He raised his empty hands. The invader leader spoke through a translator. "Human, you are inefficient. You resist without hope." Marcus nodded. "Yeah. That's kind of our thing." Zelthrix's breath caught. Marcus continued. "You planned for fear. You planned for surrender. You didn't plan for people who keep going even when scared." The invader leader paused. That pause mattered. Marcus tapped a control on his wrist. The station's outer defense ring activated, not to fire but to lock. The invaders' ships attached to the hull were suddenly trapped. Docking clamps reversed. Ships were pushed away hard, not destroyed, just removed. The invaders stumbled as their support vanished. Marcus moved instantly. Security teams surged forward, not attacking recklessly, but forcing the invaders into retreat paths Marcus had already sealed. Within minutes, the invaders realized the truth. They were isolated, outnumbered, outmaneuvered. The invader leader lowered its weapon. "We misjudged," it said. Marcus nodded. "Yeah, everyone does." The invaders surrendered. Silence returned to the station. Slowly, beings emerged from hiding. Fear turned into disbelief, then into quiet awe. Zelthrix felt weak and strong at the same time. Security regained full control. Medical teams moved in. The station lived. Later, as repairs began and stars drifted peacefully outside, Zelthrix sat beside Marcus in their shared room. The mess was still there. The noise would return, but Zelthrix no longer felt anger. "You saved many lives," Zelthrix said. Marcus shrugged. "Didn't do it alone." Zelthrix activated his tablet and began writing his final report. Final assessment, humanity. He paused, then continued. "Humans are loud. Humans are emotionally intense. Humans disrupt calm environments, but humans prepare when others relax. Humans act when others freeze. Humans face fear instead of waiting for it to pass." Zelthrix looked at Marcus. "When offered reassignment," Zelthrix said, "I declined." Marcus blinked. "Really?" "Yes," Marcus smiled. "Guess I didn't scare you off." Zelthrix allowed a small, rare smile. "No," he said, "I learned." The Galactic Council later updated their policies. Humans were no longer considered unstable participants. They were labeled something new, crisis species, the ones you wanted nearby when everything went wrong. As the station returned to normal, Zelthrix realized the final truth. Sharing a room with a human was exhausting, annoying, uncomfortable, but when the galaxy tested them, humanity did not break. And that was why the alien who regretted sharing a room with a human would regret even more.